Hi everybody, a warm greeting from Vidhyalakshmi school. Yet, I have another topic today. This topic cannot be brushed aside like any other topic because this is very essential. It's all about online games of children. You all know very well that this online game is increasingly becoming an very hot topic nowadays because we hear some instances that children are becoming quite addicted to this online games. Of course, sports and games are very important for our children. There is no doubt about it. But nowadays, these online games are occupying our children's space very much. We hear some instances that children are becoming addicted to these kind of games. And what are the precautions that we have to take? And what are the things we have to follow? All these things will be discussed here. A shocking news is the small kids, very small kids, who get more hours of screen watching, and they are experiencing a very delay in physical and mental development. So it's all quite shocking. Therefore, we must have a kind of concern. When should we worry about these online games of the children? In our house, our children are always playing online games sometimes. Parents are telling, and our government is also taking steps to prevent this online gaming, all these things. So, what are the symptoms that we have from the children that they are going to become addicted or not? First of all, just see whether they are talking about the games incessantly or continuously. Some children are always talking about the game, leaving out all important points of their life. Secondly, some children are playing the games for more number of hours, 2 hours, 3 hours, 5 hours sometimes. It's a matter of concern. You have to take care of those children. It's one of the symptoms. Then third symptom, we have to check it out, that when you are trying to stop them playing online games, are they getting angry? Are they become very aggressive and furious, especially when you are trying to stop them? When they are very aggressive, it means it's a matter of serious concern. We have to look into this. And next one is, please see that whether they are hiding the cell phones and they are playing. And you have to allow them only in the common place. When the children are taking the cell phones somewhere else for lonely places and they are playing, it's a matter of concern, and that should be addressed too. And next is, especially when they are traveling, even in the short distance, when they are just playing the games, even the travel, sitting in the bike or in the car, when you are going for short distance also, when you find them playing, it is also a difficult condition for the children. Next is, please see that whether your child is bringing the cell phone to the dinner table. If he does, it's a matter of concern. You are sitting on the dinner table and you have a beautiful conversation with other family members, and that child is looking at the cell phone, watching videos, watching YouTube and playing games. It is also should be taken care of. And next is, you can see your child keeps himself withdrawal always, sometimes lonely, sometimes he may be looking depressed. So, that should be addressed very carefully. Then there are some changes even in physical appearance. For example, he will have red eyes, sometimes dry eyes as a result of watching continuously. And also he will have the complaints of headache, one side headache, two sides headaches, overall headaches. All these things should be taken care of. Then he is going into a serious condition of becoming addiction to the game. Next is, you will be suffering from a kind of sleeplessness, and it's going to be quite visible for you. Okay, you can see is suffering from kind of loss of sleep. You will not sleep properly. So these are some of the symptoms that you have to address when you really think that is to be addressed. And before going to doctor, I would like to tell you there is always a distinct difference between overusing cell phones, overusing games, and also addiction. So there is a clear cut differentiation between these two. If you think really it's quite dangerous, you just first consult with your family doctor, then you will set everything right. You can refer to sometimes to some psychiatrists, some counselors, and they will give some medicines and therapies, some instructions to be followed. We can come out of it easily. Therefore, don't have to panic. Next, I would like to tell you some points to prevent all these difficulties. You all know, as sayings go, prevention is better than curation, right? Prevention is better than curation. So, first instruction, the first advice that I would like to suggest is, you have to spend your time with your children, valuable time with your children. When you spend your time, it becomes automatically valuable, right? When you keep saying phrases to others that I am just living for my children, I am just living for my children. When you are really living for your children, please see that you are spending your valuable time with the children, because neglected children, unloved children or neglected children are prone to become addicted to online games. Therefore, spending time with children is very, very essential. Secondly, you must understand what kind of game they are playing in. You also try to join them playing the game. You must have the knowledge of what they are playing. I am just telling you, if you have time, you also can go and play with them. Why I tell all these things? Because you can have control over them and you can set it right. You can set the timing of the game right. That's the reason why I am telling you. There is no harm in playing with your children. Thirdly, you should have your control over the number of minutes that they are playing online game. That's very important, right? You have to control them. They cannot play uncontrollably for 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, etc. You need to have a control over them. Fix the time for them to play online game, other game, and outdoor games, indoor games, and other things. And next, you should never allow them to take the cell phones to their rooms or lonely places. This is very important. When they are taking the cell phones to the rooms and lonely places, it's a serious concern. You should never allow them, because you just ask them to play in a very common place in front of you, and it shouldn't happen. And one more thing is, they should not take the cell phones to the bedrooms. And parents also should understand this. Parents also should never take the cell phones to the bedrooms. Parents have to set themselves example for the children. When parents keep the cell phones out of bedroom, so the children follow the same. Because when the lights are out, if it's a bedtime, sleeping time, when the lights are out, some children are playing the games and watching videos under the blanket and bed sheets. Parents think that they are sleeping and they are quite awake and they are playing games. Ensure that they sleep properly. Children should get at least 6 to 10 hours of proper sleep, then they can concentrate properly on their studies. And finally, you have to encourage them to play outdoor games and indoor games. And what are the outdoor games? Needless to explain. There are games, volleyball, cricket and tennis. You join them anywhere, entertainment, recreations, kung fu, karate, and dance, music, singing classes. So many are there. Please make them join and encourage them. to play all these things. And indoor games similarly. Indoor games, non-tech indoor games, that means like chess, carom and snakes and ladders. There are so many. You also can join them playing. In concluding part, I would like to say one important thing, what parents should not do. This is very important. Some parents behave eccentrically. That shouldn't happen. For example, they are just getting hangry. They are becoming very furious at children while playing cell phones, snatching away the cell phones, breaking the cell phones, abusing words, unparliamentary words, beating the children and breaking the cell phones finally. This will no way will bring a good solution to it. You have to handle it carefully. You have to be polite in handling this. You have to be very diplomatic in handling this. Okay. Next, sometimes what happens in the house is, for example, father allows the cell phone, the mother becomes enemy. When mother allows the cell phone, father becomes enemy. Of course, there is no harm in being enemy. Sometimes we can be enemy to the children. No matter, in future they will quite understand what all you did in the past. It's all for good things, all for benefits, and they will say. But if you are allowing them the cell phones now, if you are quite uncontrolled over your children nowadays, maybe friendly this time, nowadays, in the later part of the life, you will become enemies. Please make a note of it. That's very important. Now you can be enemy. When the children are children, you can be enemy for them. When they grown up, you will become very friendly to them. And also, the other day, one of the parents was talking to me. My son is always treating me as enemy. Then what should I do, sir? I was suggesting him. There are two kinds of children, for example, say small, very small children, toddlers. You have to become very close with them, be it small writing, small drawing, or small playthings, very small playthings. You have to participate in those small activities of your children. They will become very close to you, isn't it? And also for teenagers, very difficult to handle the teenagers. Parents are telling like this, he is not at all listening to me, she is not at all listening to me. For you, I want to tell you one suggestion, that first of all, you must make a list of what are the things he likes or she likes, what are the things she hates or he hates in the life. So, you have to become one in what he is interested in. I repeat, you have to become one in what he is interested in. Maybe it's a cinema. If he says he is a fan of Vijay, you say you are the fan of Surya, no problem at all. Then if he says in sports, if he says he is a fan of Dhoni, MS Dhoni, you say you are a fan of Virat, and set a great deal of bet. Just ask him who is going to score very good runs in this IPL season. This is how you can be a friend. If he says he is interested in football, even if you do not know anything about football, learn something about football and footballers. If he says he is interested in, say, boxing, then you say, just talk about Muhammad Ali, talk about Evander Holyfield, talk about so many other boxers like Mike Tyson. So, he will become emotionally attached to you. He will become closer to you. You will be a friend. There you can have a control over them. That's very essential. Then he will start listening to you. Then you can bring them under control. This is very essential. Only when you are interested in what he is interested in. You cannot expect your children to be what you are interested in. You may be interested in different fields. For example, why Modi was meeting Joe Biden, what's the bilateral relationship between India and US? He is not interested in all those things. You have to become what he is interested in, will make you a good bond between you and your child. That's very important, to become a friend. Then he will listen to whatever you speak, whatever you suggest. All right. Therefore, We all, parents, teachers, join hands with students to make the students of this generation very healthy, away from all these online stuffs, very healthy, fruitful and responsible citizens of this country. Thank you for watching. Thank you very much. Subscribe and share. Thank you.